In 2018, Matthew Smith, PhD, wrote for Psychology Today, quote, much of Dennis's popularity arose from the fact that he was such a recognizable figure. Kids like Dennis were on every street in the burgeoning American suburbs during the 1950s, tearing around corners on their tricycles or hitting baseballs into kitchen windows. They were thought to be normal boys, doing what boys did, or were they? Within a decade of Dennis the Menace's first appearance in an American newspaper, his exuberant, mercurial tendencies were beginning to be seen in a very different light. Instead of being perceived as a precocious, enthusiastic, and energetic, boys like Dennis were increasingly being described as impulsive, hyperactive, and inattentive, and being referred by school counselors to physicians for medical treatment.
They're right. They were right.
Instead of being seen as part of the fabric of American society, like Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, boys like Dennis were being diagnosed with what we now call attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
I'm sorry. What did Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn do? Go out on it alone? Go out on their own fucking way?
I mean, Huck, to be fair, had a much more dangerous life than Tom.
I'm saying they're hard to be around, just like fucking Calamity Jane. I'd sprinkle Adderall on her too. Yeah. She's fun to watch. That doesn't mean they're having a great time. I think people mistake people with lots of energy as like being lucky to have that energy. But we have experienced firsthand how it isn't fun when you do want to power down.
I think, I love medication. I want everyone medicated for whatever it is they want to be medicated for. I do understand there is like a little conservative Mr. Wilson in the middle of my body screaming like, but are we not like, maybe not with kids being so rambunctious, because the kid is miserable. And I guess that's what we are not seeing here with Dennis. Dennis is very, very happy.
Loving it. Right. The movie doesn't totally get the assignment,
because he is not when they're writing this movie and when Ketchum wrote his newspaper strip, he's not thinking this child has pathological things wrong with him. It's just, this boy.
Everyone knows one.
Handful, right? Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows one and hates that fucking kid. You know who I was thinking of immediately, especially with the breaking and entering?
Our old next door neighbor. Yes, because I was a Mr. Wilson to this child.
Because anyone would be. He was setting small fires. He slapped our kid, but like none of it was his fault.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and none of this is Dennis's fault either. That's why I said he needs to, all you can do is move away, Mr. Wilson. I'm sorry, which is what we had to do.
And he's very attached. The things he says to Mr. Wilson, he means.
But there is a thing like, I remember reading On the Road by Jack Kerouac. When you go back and read like these like beatniks and stuff, and it's like, I'm just gonna fucking travel around America and just live my life. You read it now and you just think, oh, you were just like bipolar or manic depressive. You needed a pill for that. Are we, though, ultimately losing a part of the human experience by just like sanding down
and leaving people miserable? I mean, I don't care.
I guess the point is
maybe there's less creativity in the world, if that's what you're worried about. Maybe.
I guess so, yeah.
Maybe. But if there's more like contentness and people not feeling just dreadful about themselves, I think that's the better side of things.
So Hank Ketchum created the first comic strip Dennis the Menace in 1951. He wrote it and drew it all the way till 1994. He began his career as an assistant animator for Disney, working on Pinocchio and Fantasia. He based Dennis on his own 4-year-old son named Dennis. Now, the origin story is, which I'm sure is not true, is he was in his home studio working on some cartoons, and his wife came in and she said, our child has wrecked his bedroom. Or no, their son was supposed to be napping, but instead had wrecked his bedroom. And what she said is, your son is a menace. And he's like, huh? Okay. So the first Dennis the Menace comic strip, which is kind of blurry, so we can't actually see it.
Who's the cool guy in the fucking mobster suit? Or who broke out of jail, a fancy jail?
Also, I think this is the other Dennis the Menace. So by a weird coincidence, in Britain, another comic called Dennis the Menace debuted the exact same day in 1951.
Shut up, with a slingshot.
Yeah. And that's because like Dennis the Menace.
What?
Well, Hank Ketchum didn't invent the phrase Dennis the Menace. There was like a British like singing like town hall, like a bunch of drunks get together like Dennis the Menace and the Queen and the pup. I don't know. So Dennis the Menace in Britain is called Dennis the Menace and Gnasher in America, and our Dennis the Menace is just called Dennis over there. So yeah, Hank Ketchum wrote the Dennis strip until 1994 when he passed it on to his assistants, Ron Ferdinand and Marcus Hamilton. And then in 2010, Ketchum's son Scott also joined. The strip continues to be produced to this very day. Okay, so the real Dennis Ketchum, well, he had a learning disability that his father didn't understand. The real Dennis said he wished his father would spend more time with him instead of the other Dennis. The real Dennis's the real
Okay, got it.
The real Dennis's mother died of a drug overdose in 1959 after his parents had divorced, and his dad didn't tell him that his mother died until after the funeral. And then the real Dennis went to, I got the perfect place for you, son, troubled young man, Vietnam.
Oh my fucking God, Matt.
And afterward, he had difficulty finding steady work, was married and divorced multiple times, and rarely ever spoke with his dad.
Perfect.
In the 1950s, they made a Dennis the Menace sitcom, airing on CBS between 1959 and 1963. And it was made in response to the success of Leave It to Beaver on ABC. Jay North played Dennis, a sort of legendary child star. And then as an adult, he started a consulting business to help child stars navigate the business.
That's nice. As long as he wasn't consulting them into abuse.
I want to know what kind of consulting was going on.
I mean, I think he's just like acknowledging it's toxic as fuck. As you have no power as a child, and your parents don't either, because you're the one making the money for the family.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it wasn't okay. The first thing is give my company power of attorney. Just saying.
Okay.
The show ran in syndication forever. It was a huge staple on Nickelodeon in the 80s and 90s before Nickelodeon switched to original programming like Doug. And hey, if you would like to learn more about Doug, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/loadbearingbeams. And we have a Doug episode. Did you ever watch this Dennis the Menace sitcom?
On accident. Yeah. Like, if it were on and there was nothing else.
Yeah, Nickelodeon in like the 80s was just Dennis the Menace and Lassie.
Yeah.
That was it. Because they
during the day.
Their own shit. Yeah, during the day.
Then it got good at Nick and Night.
All right, but as we were brainstorming about potential subjects for a mini-series, if we wanted to pivot to doing more mini-series, I think we could do a thing on the 90s work of John Hughes, like after his run of, when we say John Hughes movie, an image is conjured in your head. The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller. But in the 90s, he was mainly a writer and producer. And I feel like we could cover that stretch.
That's interesting, yeah.
But
he's such a cherished figure, however. So.
And we haven't covered a proper John Hughes movie, I don't think, since
Home Alone?
He didn't direct it.
Oh, God, I always think he does.
Since episode 3 of Load Bearing Beams in 2017 on The Breakfast Club.
Really?
Yeah. We'll probably revisit The Breakfast Club at some point.
It deserves it. It's a huge part of my life.
Yeah. He only had 8 movies that he directed: 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Ferris Bueller, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, She's Having a Baby, Uncle Buck, and Curly Sue. But both before and during this run, he was also a very successful screenwriter on the National Lampoon Vacation movies, on Mr. Mom. He wrote Pretty in Pink, wrote Some Kind of Wonderful, and The Great Outdoors.
That man gets me.
But then there was a major turning point in 1990. When he wrote and produced, but did not direct, Home Alone, which was the biggest hit by far of his career, one of the biggest movies ever. And I feel like this is based on nothing, that he made Macaulay Culkin happen, and so maybe he was determined to make it happen again and again with other kids.
He thought he found a formula. I hate when I think I find one. I'm never right.
I just wonder if that's something he was trying to do. The casting for Dennis the Menace was enormous.
It had to be. I don't know where that kid is so cute. He's
cute.
Fucking adorable.
Yeah.
When he talks is cute. It's just that it sounds like an adult is feeding him lines, and that's weird.
Yeah, but that's the Macaulay Culkin difference. Is Macaulay Culkin could have made this actually work, because you have to be a real actor, and this kid just wasn't. No offense to him.
I guess that's kind of what made this kid more endearing to me. I don't think I needed a McCulkin in another fucking movie like this. My Girl plus Uncle Buck plus this. It's just too many little blonde stinkers around. I can't.
Yeah, I'm not saying we literally needed Culkin, but you needed somebody who could act.
Yes, but the more we talk about it, the more I think that the movie misunderstands what Dennis is altogether, and it almost doesn't gel mentally. A kid that caring, that smart, and then also doing all these things.
Yeah, I guess whatever.
It's a weird ask.
But whatever magic Macaulay Culkin had in Home Alone was he could make you believe that he's smart enough to do all this stuff, but also an innocent, and you feel sorry for him, and you think he's funny, and you think he's cute, and he can pull all that off at the same time. Whereas what's frustrating about Dennis the Menace is he has no agency at all. He's just a reactive character to me.
But you're absolutely right. Macaulay Culkin is sympathetic because what happened to him, he did not do on we feel sorry for him instantly, and he's scared. We feel scared for him. All that works. Where Dennis seems to just feel like he can't just be in a house, and he wants to touch everything and fix everything. And maybe he's gotten in trouble enough to know, like, don't ask for help for this. You just got rid of all the medicine that's in the squeezy bottle. Just fix the medicine. It's hard to know. Like, it works for me. Yeah, so I really didn't think this was one of those you had to see it when you're younger movies. Damn it.
No, it might not be, because it being, I was feeling his lack of active role in the movie.
Okay. Oh, like all the choices are being made behind the scene. He's being fed these choices. Is that what you mean?
Yes, but also because he doesn't understand what he's doing, because he thinks like he's helping Christopher Lloyd at the end, but actually everything he does is just torturing the guy more.
I see what you're saying.
That makes it less interesting, even though there's a million movies I love, like Beavis and Butthead, for example, which we're very divided on, where the whole joke is that they don't understand anything that's happening to them, and that's hilarious.
Failing your way up.
Yeah. So it's all in the execution?
Well, I mean, we need to remind the listeners that you hate children.
I do not hate children.
You fucking hate them, Mr. Wilson. Yes, you do. You like your children, and you like other children that please you.
Please me. Oh. This child doesn't please me. Get this child away from here.
I don't know what I don't know what the magic sauce is.
No, I mean, yeah. I find it less interesting if you're showing me kids on screen, who are just being cute. Even as I'm like, yeah, I get it. He's cute, and you can feel their parents like right off beneath the camera, being like, "Okay, honey, and now I want you to look like you're angry. Now, give me that pouty lip. There you go." All right, so Home Alone, the major turning point, and so. He only directs one more movie, Curly Sue, and then he pivots to being a full-time writer and crucially, producer on all kinds of movies that I didn't know he was involved with. So Dutch in 1991, Beethoven in 1992, Home Alone 2, 1992, Dennis the Menace, Baby's Day Out, come on. Miracle on 34th Street.
Hate that fucking movie.
101 Dalmatians, which is him going back to the Home Alone well again, because you have the two robbers who are being tormented by the dogs.
Correct.
Flubber, Home Alone 3. So he is just like, so to me, very cynically recognizing the formula and just chasing that Home Alone dragon again and again and again and again.
Sure. Or being asked to give him that special Home Alone magic, won't you, John? It may not always be his fault, Matt.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm taking up for him.
Yeah, we'll have
fine.
We'll have to do
fine.
a seance and ask him, like, was it your choice to write Baby's Day Out? Yeah, he died in 2009.
Uh-oh.
That's what's frustrating, is you can feel the John Hughes formula, which even includes the good stuff, like the scene where Mrs. Wilson recites the poem to Dennis.
Yeah.
It's a little strange, it's a little unusual, and then you realize this is literally also a scene from Home Alone 2. But it works on the individual level because the actors are very good and sweet. And this is so unlike anything else in the movie.
And I feel safe. And I'm a kid who's in a strange place, and all of a sudden I feel understood again by this woman.
And that scene is good because that poem is weird. Like, it's like it's such an old sounding poem, but for whatever reason it gets through to the kid without him understanding it and puts him to sleep. And that's what's really nice about that scene.
Yeah.
John Hughes hires as his director Patrick Reed Johnson, who will go on to direct Baby's Day Out, but they clash. And so he fires him and hires Nick Castle, who had previously directed The Last Starfighter, would go on to direct Major Payne. But the most interesting thing about Nick Castle is that he is Michael Myers.
Hey, look at him.
He's literally was the Shape in the original Halloween because he was
was-
buddies with John Carpenter.
Okay, so he was just a guy. What was he in the industry?
Yeah, he was John Carpenter's friend. He was helping him out on the movie and trying to learn, like, oh, so how do you make a movie?
Okay.
And I do think this movie looks pretty good. At least the way it's shot looks pretty good. The camera's in
It
interesting
seems to
places.
consider everything that's in the frame, and you've kind of taught me to notice when movies are doing that. Just everything looks like a little postcard, kind of.
Yeah, and it's
In
trying.
a sense of place. Sorry, there's a real sense. I understand where everything is in this movie, in the town.
Yeah, and it's doing that very intentionally to construct this sort of idealized version of suburbia that could be a.
Yeah, and of course, me and the kid were both like, not a black child in sight.
Oh, no, nowhere, anywhere. But however, I think there's one. Well, Paul Winfield plays the cop.
There's that.
And it's interesting because that scene feels like a racially inversed interaction between a cop and a black guy. Because he just profiles Christopher Lloyd as like, you look like you're up to no good.
Well, and the way Christopher Lloyd is choosing to speak, and you're giving me the breeze. It's like, it's very like 70s, like talk of, hip. He's being hip in a non-old man way.
I mean, what do you think of Christopher Lloyd in this
I
movie?
think he's great. I think he's scary as fuck, weird. I mean, I've never seen more Uncle Fester than I did, and like the faces, the kind of grossness of it, how disgusting he will get, the teeth. So I mean, he just always scared the shit out of me. I've always had a soft spot for anyone with a cocked eye. So when he takes that apple from that fucking child, and if that child doesn't know how to go ask for another apple, I'm so sad about that. Anyway, I find him very effective. I think his costume is interesting. The heeled boots.
I was reading Roger Ebert's review. He gave it 2.5 stars out of 4. Said that the parts, his least favorite parts of the movie were the Christopher Lloyd parts because he felt like this character is way too menacing for the movie. And I agree with that, even though I would say that's kind of why I like it.
Yeah, me too.
But I do see how special it is, the job that Joe Pesci specifically did in Home Alone 1.
Sure.
Who could be just menacing enough to also feel like you belong in this part of the world. Whereas Christopher Lloyd here does feel like he's imported from a different movie. And I don't think the chemistry's there with the kid.
Yeah, I mean, that kid has chemistry with Mr. Wilson, with Martha. Am I saying that? Is that her name?
It's got to be.
Because the mom's name, is it not Martha too?
All women were named Martha for a long time. George and Martha Wilson, Alice Mitchell. Lea Thompson is Alice Mitchell.
Yeah, okay. But it's really the acting of I just love that actress who plays Martha.
Yeah, Joan Plowright.
I love her. She just has such a way, and me and our kid both love the little touch of the handkerchief tucked into the watch, because my Mima would do that. Mm-hmm. It's just like, she always had a drippy eye, so it's just right there if you need it. And I don't know, there's something. Anyway, she might be selling all the chemistry here. It could be the grown-ups in the room. So the fact that there isn't any with Christopher Lloyd, I don't know. I just always feel in safe hands with him. Again, I'm being. My opinion is diluted because of the nostalgia, because I've already accepted it for all that it is, that I can't imagine it a different way. And I didn't realize I'd seen it so many times, but I'm like, oh, this is, I don't know why. Like, I feel like I'm very in touch with those movies, and I waited a really long time to bust out this one. And I don't know why.
Which is me with
clearly seen it a million times.
That's me with Beethoven, which I watched.
That's another one of mine.
To scout for the show. Would this be a good movie for us to talk about? I knew I watched it a lot as a kid. Every second of the movie is ingrained in my brain. The score, I was like, oh my God, the score.
That's so weird.
The names of the kids, certain shots, certain line deliveries, that big
Rice.
nose. Yes, Rice,
fucking
exactly.
Kid Rice.
Yes. The giant nose on Charles Grodin's office building. Because he sells air fresheners. So, but because I watched it so recently, I was also noticing, oh, John Hughes is at it again. You could, it's Nickelback, How You Remind Me of Someday. You can just play these songs at the same time, and the same things will happen at the same moments on the script on page 18. There's got to be an incident. So this movie, Mason Gamble, he was one of 20,000 actors who auditioned for this role. He would go on to work a little bit more. He was in Gattaca. He has a small role in Rushmore. As Dirk, as Max Fisher's friend Dirk. He retired from acting in the 2000s. The movie was a nice little hit. It got $117 million worldwide on a $35 million budget. And a sequel, they assumed there would be a sequel. Walter Mathau was signed on for a sequel. But sort of unexpected career resurgence for Walter Mathau in 1993. Grumpy Old Men was later that year. And, My Fellow Americans, and they did an Odd Couple sequel.
But I feel like this kicked it off. I didn't know who he was until this movie, and then he was like so iconic to me.
So you'd never seen JFK when you were a kid?
Not at that moment.
When he was playing Senator Russell Long.
What is the, what year did this come out?
93.
Okay, no, I hadn't seen it. I was 8.
They had signed him on for a sequel, but it never materialized. So they do a direct-to-video sequel with none of the cast back. Don Rickles plays Mr. Wilson.
This looks fucking horrific.
Carrot Top's in it. Dennis the Menace strikes again.
Well, who is that kid? Little JTT wannabe?
Just some kid.
Some fucking guy. The dog's not even as good.
That dog sucks. And also that dog's dead.
How do you?
Well, this was 1998.
The
so
dog's dead. Damn.
Be a remarkable dog if it's still alive.
Is that Betty White?
Betty White, yes.
Jesus Christ. I'd fuck with it. I guess I'd give it a whirl, but.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do
no,
that.
I don't actually want to. I don't want to.
You'll turn into me. Like, I guess I'll do a Fern Gully 2 video. Okay. Oh, I made a 25-minute video about Fern Gully 2.
Just the idea of Don Rickles having any sexual love match, any kind of chemistry. Excuse me, Martha and George. Fuck, you can tell they are into each other.
What do you think Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head do?
They take their penis out of their back of their butt.
Because that's what they can do. But he's horny as hell for his wife. Don Rickles plays Mr. Potato Head. You just went with it.
I was just going to tell you how potatoes fuck. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's the history of Dennis the Menace.
There you go.
All right. Going to talk about the movie now.
Okay.